Again, I forgot to add my social stage. So, hey, welcome to this last session of what are MPCs or what MPCs are. And also, I think, well, no, I think there's a comment session from Carrie, yes. Yeah. AI powered at tech part two. So I was just going to say that this was the last stream for the entire global head week, but no, that's false. Also, we have the closing ceremony. So stay tuned because uh, tomorrow, 9 a.m. ET time, or later today for you, it depends which time zones you are, you will be having AI powered by EdTech with Carrie and the closing ceremony with Siddharth and Queen at 12. So, if you remember last session, I am just talking about mind sessions right now. Last session, we were talking about MCPs. We discover what this is, and we give an example on how to connect to already existing things, an MCP client and an MCP server. Now, I'm going to show you more explicit, how to say that, like a more deep use case for this, connecting an existing client and an existing server, and then we're going to use that to generate ourselves a existing, sorry, an client and connect to this existing server. So let me quickly change a little bit the layout. I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, yeah, perfect. I think you can see me better in that camera. Light works better when I'm looking at the monitor. So we're ready to go. Let me start sharing the screen, and I'll show you what I was meaning. Okay. Oh, I forgot to add it. Um, Give me a second. Okay, we can continue now. Also, let me know here in comments every time you have a question or something. Hey, lol, you're good side. Thank you. Quakers and cheese. I cannot remember watching you on today's stream at the morning. I think that wasn't a good time for you, is it? Well, don't worry. If you as Quakers can't see the stream, you can always watch the recording. Broker Rock says hello. So let me make my screen bigger because I know this is terribly small for many of you. Okay, this should work now. So in the previous session, we discussed a lot what um, model context protocol is. Let me show you the PDF of the slides. Always you can find the slides in all the information here on repo, so you can watch the information, the resources. I really recommend for this specific topic, take a deep look on the resources I shared. This is the Anthropic release blog. This is the one of the blogs I based on the content of the session. The MCP documentation, which is really important to have always in mind. And finally, well, the GitHub log and the MCP repos that we are connecting. So the here I need to correct this. I thought I already correct that. Yeah, MCPs with the S. So I need to update the PDF. Don't worry, I will do that later. Or not, maybe not. But okay, you can always find the repo as github.com/alberto47/mcps with an S. And in that, we showed how to connect the MCP JSON configuration to use the server fetch, which allows our client, in this case, the client, it's GitHub Copilot, to do fetch, to perform fetches to internet, which was already possible. But now we have more granular control, and we can use that as an agent, so we can cascade these fetchings not only in a single querying or in a single fetching, which makes this more powerful. Now I can show you, I think I was working later today, which is this example using the MongoDB MCP integration with GitHub Copilot. So this project demonstrates how to complete the model context protocol implementation that connects an AI assistant, in this case GitHub Copilot. This is the client to the Mongo database through a standardized interface. That standardized it's MCP, Model Context Protocol. To demonstrate how MCP works, we're using this Copilot, no matter the model, and the MCP client to interact with the MCP server. In this case, we're connecting to a database, which I'm running on Docker, on a Docker container. You will see the Docker Compose file, and a database that I download from Kaggle, which is users containing a list of marble characters, and bash script, which just populates the MongoDB with the existing CSV users. And that's it. So this is already uploaded to GitHub. You can check it right now, and you will see that we are actually making queries. Not the model is not checking the CSV file. That will be like cheating. I don't want to cheat. So we can delete it. We can get rid of it. We can ultimately even run this or connect to a remote database. For simplicity, right now, I'm running the Dockerized version of this. You can always connect it to your Mongo Atlas instance. So it will be easier if you don't know how to use Docker, don't worry. But again, here under the README, I add a lot of useful information on how to do that. I will delete this quick start. I don't like that. Emojis. Well, I do like them, but don't worry. To demonstrate the MCP, how this works, again, we're connecting the client to the server, which is Copilot, to the MongoDB server, using the driver in the MCP server to get the database. And in this case, we're getting it from Docker. Don't worry, you can change it for a local running, for a cloud one, as in Mongo Atlas, whatever you want. And in this case, we're retrieving the Marvel characters data. At the quick start, you need a Docker, VS Code, and Node for the MCP server, and that's just it. Then, just like here, if you have already Docker installed in your computer, come to the file, come to the project, directly type Docker Compose up. Either, if you prefer, you will have to go to the dashboard. Here, for example, I have mine already up and running, and you will see that's all the things you need. For the first time on the configuration, Well, you will have to add the VS Code MCP, the connection string to your local host, to your own MongoDB instance. In my case, again, I'm running these on Docker, so this is my local host port 27017. This is my admin user and my password 123. It doesn't matter because this is running locally, right? Well, for me, for you, you'll have to change that. The data import, it's the database automatically populated with the Marvin characters here on the CSV. Actually, you can take a look to it. If we open it, for example, let's find one that everybody knows. Uh, 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 well, a lot of them. A lot of A's. Well, you see, this is not a small file. These actually are, I think, 4 MB of Marvel characters. So you will see that, well, for example, Bruce Banner. This is that name we all can relate, right? So this is Hulk, basically. We can close this, and then once that's running, we can ask Copilot things and make queries using natural language, which is very, very powerful because right now Copilot is using it. But for the second part, we are going to feed this in a chat storage. So using our local llama, which we set up in the first streams I gave. But imagine having a platform or a application where you can ask with natural language about information in your database. That's so powerful. So, an example, show me the first 10 10 Marvel characters, find the female characters from Earth 616, what are the different universe in the database, how many characters are alive. Um, oh, I have a typo here. Studio manages comments. Again, Docker Compose up to stop it, Docker Compose down to do a fresh import, Docker Compose down -B, and Docker Compose out in detach mode. Don't forget the detach mode because else you won't get access to your terminal again. Docker Compose logs Mongo, or in my case, I will connect also to verify that using Mongo Compass. So if I open Mongo Compass, I have global hack with GenAI. I have the users ones, and you see, I see a lot of users here. We have 92,615 entries in this database, which is a lot. So let's do a quick find. If we can make a query manually, it will be name and name Peter Parker. Oh, maybe I spelled it wrong. Maybe I am spelling it all wrong. It's it was with capital name. Okay, yeah, it was missing the the value for the key. So Peter Parker, for example, from Earth TRN 199, from Earth 616, from a lot of different universe. We have a lot of entries, so we can now. And in comparison, okay, I think that was too small, right? Sorry for that. Let me try to make this bigger. Oh, how can I make this bigger? I am pressing Command Plus, but it's not making. Okay, well, you have to trust me or pause the video to make a zoom to see what's happening here. But we have a lot of Peter Parkers, right? Uh, in here, once we have this running, we can open or copilot mode, I'm going to copy this command. I had prepared that, but make sure first you're in agent mode because Copilot by default already comes with ask mode. Uh, you can also go to edit, but agent is the one we want. We have set up the servers. In this case, we have Fetch and MongoDB. So let's start asking some queries in natural language. In this case, we will take in consideration some of this. For example, how many Spider-Mans are Spider-Mans are okay, yeah. And let's run this. So GitHub, it's going to say like, okay, I need to understand what you're asking about regarding Spider-Man. This refers to several things: Spider-Man characters in current movie, something in the current workspace, or a specific context. Okay, I mean, in my test, what was the name? Test DB. How many Spider-Mans are? So, for example, here, let me get a mark from Hessen by searching for various Spider-Man related character names. These wants to do a grep inside the CSV. And no, we don't want that. So we cancel and we hit the next part in my test B1. So I understand now. You're asking about the Spider-Man characters into CSV database. Let me count them and search. Okay, again. Um, don't look in the CSV. Look directly in the database. Because of course, right now we have the file here, but in the specific scenario where we are going to use this, we want to be having that. So searching for matching. Oh, okay. I don't see a database in your workspace. I can see you have this. Maybe because I moved this. No, but hey, where are we? Step one. Okay, yeah. Um, no, no, no. Um, okay, how to explain this? Can't you access MongoDB MCP? You're right, you have a MongoDB MCP server set up. I will be able to access it. However, I don't see MongoDB specific tools available in my current toolset. Let me check your setup to understand your MongoDB configuration. I can see you have MongoDB set up a database called testdb and a collection called users. The data from should be important here. Run command. Then I will say db it's already running. Perfect. Since your MongoDB is already running, let me help you make a query to it to count the Spider-Man characters. Use the MongoDB shell through the terminal to connect to your database and run the query. Perfect. So the query now looks like this: Docker exec Copilot MCP DB Mongoose test DB named Spider-Man. So let's try to do that. The query is going to be executed here on terminal, and it says no such container Copilot MCP MongoDB because the name should be MongoDB MCP test without the, well, yeah, not Copilot MCP. Um, so I allow you to do Docker PS. In this case, you will see now the Docker name for that. Great, I can see your MongoDB container is running. So let's continue. Run the command now with the fixed name. Command aggregate requires authentication. It looks like the database requires authentication. Let me try to connect with the credentials that are checked in the file here, of course. So continue. Okay, I don't know why now you're performing so bad. Previously, I was doing some queries and they were amazing. Um, okay, yeah. So the search returns zero result. Let me try a broader search. Actually, I'm going to say mine too because I look for Peter Parker, but I'm not sure Spider-Man is going to. Okay, yeah, there is a Spider-Man. Just one. Okay, so let's see what's happening here. This is a friend. Okay, I can see the field is called name. Not well, probably happened. Yeah, happened the same to me. Actually, just the same. You saw it with the capital N. So it correct the. Oh wow, interesting. He found 53, and I just found one. What is that? Let me take a look to that. Let me also get your breakdown by searching a different Spider-Man variants. Okay, so you passed this. If I pass that, what I get? Exactly those 53. So it's a great thing to have in mind. But let's see. So we have different because this is Agent Spider-Man. This one it's Armored Spider-Man. This also one it's Armored Spider-Man, but from a different Earth. So that's great. You see, using just ourselves a direct query like this. Shift, you will see the reference. If we just directly query that, we will find just one Spider-Man. But the MCP, thanks to the help of a generation of the language model and the access to the database to be able to actually perform queries, read it, um, is that we have the order 53. And it also says, like, let me run a wider search to see if there are more variants. So there is Spider-Man has 37, Spider-Woman has 12. There is also 3 Spider-Girls. And in addition to the 53 characters that we have a total Spider-Man characters of 267. So imagine being able to tag to your database. That's what we did just right now, directly. So I really see a lot of potential. I love that we managed to have the previous fetch come and running from previous session, but right now I just think this is really huge. And remember, you have the configuration here. You have the MCP file. You just need to copy and in the description replace your own credential or connection to connect to your database. Right now, I'm connecting to a local host database that I populated with Marvel characters, but this means really a lot more than just playing with Marvel trivias, right? So for that, I had this prepared. Let me share. Okay, I had these here. Let me copy it, and I will create a new one. I say I want to create a project where we create an MCP client using local Llama model to connect to MongoDB MCP server to make queries in natural language. Help me to do that. So here I will delete this because we didn't have that before. Right now I'm going to close this also too, and I will show you how this runs. So I hope we have time to complete this. I think it's a quite challenging one, but hey, we already managed to make that connection, and you don't go empty-handed. You already have this. This will be the extra step, right? So I'll help you to create a project that uses local OLAMA model as MCP client to connect to MongoDB MCP server for natural language queries. Let me start by examining your current workspace. Ham structure and then create the necessary components. We have the um, Alama NCP client file. Now take a look to existing configuration. Perfect. An Alama based MCP client integration with your existing Mongo MCP server. Natural language query processing. Let me create a project structure. Alama package JSON tsconfig.m. Now let me create the core MPC implementation. So let's take a look once this is already done to the package JSON. So we have Olama MPC client, MPC client using Olama to interact with blah blah blah. Node, model context protocol SDK. Okay, and for reference, we will have or we will be using this page, which is the MCP protocol IO or model context protocol.io slash introduction get started for client developers. And let me make this bigger so you can take a good look at it. Okay, I think that's big enough, right? So let's take a look to what the agent Copilot is doing. It created the source with an index, and it's creating the Mongo server that the client can connect to. Okay, I need to update the package JSON to include the missing dependencies. Now let me create an improved version of the Mongo server with proper types. Okay, it's working. So we need to go here and understand why we're importing the model context protocol SDK, right? In this case, we previously watched this using Python. Right now, we are going to watch this using Node. So for client developers, we will start using our own client that can integrate all MCP servers. In this tutorial, we will learn how to build an LLM-powered chatbot client that connects to MCP servers. It helps to help through the server quick start. We already checked that server quick start. So let's start building the client. Requirements, Anthropic clean, latest version, set up your environment. For Mac, we already have the file. We install Anthropic AI SDK. In this case, we are not using Anthropic AI because we are using Olama. Then we are using Model Context Protocol and .m as well, right? .m and Model Protocol SDK. Then for dev dependencies, we're using TypeScript and type nodes. That's perfect. Then we create an index file. So it's still working, right? So we have our index file, and here we can see things are really similar. Then we need to update the package JSON to set a type model. We already had that, I think. Yeah, the type is model. And this script, it's going to be TSC, TypeScript, and chmod build the index. For that, let me make sure that's true. Yeah, we will have the TSC. Um, so we're just going to be the TSC. I don't know why I need to change the execution for index.js. But we created tsconfig in the root of the project. Let- Let's compare it. Target model, ESC, ESNext. Okay, it's changed. Model resolution is going to be, and that our dir is going to be dist. Okay, include and exclude. So, perfect. Everything still making sense here. Set up the AP keys. We're not using Anthropic AP key. Don't worry about that. We have the git ignore and that ends. So, I sometimes feel that the Anthropic thing um, have a great documentation because they explain even the smallest detail, which I truly appreciate. Creating the client, basic client structure. So now let's take a look to the index. Oh, now you done. Now let me make the setup script executable and install the dependencies. Uh, why is that? What to create a setup script for? Setting up Llama MongoDB client, common vnodes. Okay, if comment no, okay, npm install failed, npm run. Uh, jump create setup dot sh. I can do run that manually. Also, Llama, it's already installed and ready to use with HEMA 3.1v model. Okay, let's return and see Anthropic. Okay, again, we are not using Anthropic, but we do want to use message param and tool, client, index, model content protocol. Uh, yeah, we're using the client, and we are using STDO client transport, spawn for child process, Llama. I'm not sure about. Yeah, I think they already have an SDK for JavaScript. Just let me confirm that. Okay, they have a JavaScript library. Hey man, just wanted to say I'm getting more and more interested in AI. I don't really have a technical background. Would you still recommend learning um, code? Would you still recommend? Yeah, of course. I mean, yes. It's like recommending not learning how to read. You need to learn how to code, especially if you want to get more involved in AI. Um, yes, yeah, definitely yes. Llama JavaScript library, npm install Llama. Let's take a look to how this works. It allows to make a chat. Okay, okay, okay. Does it have no? It don't have documentation, examples, or test. Yeah, no, no documentation. Stream response API that chat. Okay, Llama JavaScript API is designed around the Llama REST API, so it wraps it. Okay, I think it's great. So we have the same two generate and chat. That's perfect. That's perfect. We're just getting this then to use llama.chat, right? So llama readline, pipe readline, stdn. Okay, what's next for you? Let me install types now dependencies and then build the project. Okay. So you just need to go to the page, run it, and here let's keep exploring. So we get the config and we make sure that it's that stored. Okay, same. We make an interface for MCP protocol having name, description, and the schema. Then we create. Okay, now let me. Okay, it installed all required models. I think that worked perfect. Found several vulnerabilities. 20 no 112 packages were added. Perfect. I see you have MongoDB set up with Docker Compose. Let me create a simple Mongo MCP server. I think I should say uh, the Mongo MCP server already exists. I don't know what this is doing. It created another thing called Copilot MPC. Yeah, the model MCP server already exists. You can find more information about it in, and let me share this also with you. We have this, and let's open here. When you're using Atlas API credentials, blah blah blah, connect. Okay, set up quick start. Connect strings are. Yeah, I need to explain this to Copilot. The Mongo MCP server already exists. You can find more information about it in here. This is the one I want to connect to. So let's see. Let's return to um, index. Perfect. So we were discussing that this is just setting up the our topic keys, but since we are not using that, we can focus on the class MCP client. So we have an Olama MCP client, which has the private value for client, transport, Olama, and the available tools. Olama is from class Llama. That's interesting. Um, so we have NCP, which is a type of client. We have the model. In this case, we're using Llama. Uh, Studio client transport. We have that or null, and we have the tools. We have NCP tool from this. So that's great. Here they importing tools from messages. Then a constructor that on initialization has the anthropic And here on initialization, we create a new Olama instance with the host. Yeah, let's take a look to that Olama. Okay, list, show, embed, Fiesta board. I don't think that's okay. Yeah, here it is. Custom client can be created with the following fields. It's passing the host, and this is just the local host. The Olama host address by default is this, and then fetch optional. The fetch library used to make requests to Olama host. That's perfect. And then we can make chat. Oh, that's great. So we have our Olama and our read line. What else we had here? The MCP. Why we didn't create the client here? So we have an initialize method that says console log chalk blue initializing Olama MPC, and server process is found to make this in another thread. Nodes Mongo MCP server process Mongo MCP server path pilot MPC studio create transport client, and finally we create the client using a name and a version. And then the methods will go here. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see what Copilot has been doing. A lot of things. Okay, perfect. Let me fetch information for that. It runs fetch Mongo MCP server setup output a lot of things with in mind. Then Mongo MCP installation configures the search sample. So it look on internet great. Now I understand Mongo MCP server structure. Let me update the Olama MCP client to properly connect to the existing Mongo MCP server using the standard MCP protocol. Now let me create a proper Olama MCP client that connects to the Mongo MCP server. Let me check the current clients of the index.ts file. Let me replace the entire file with the updated version, mcp client.ts, which is this one. Now let me also create a simple direct client that doesn't use the full MC protocol for easier testing, which is simple client. So the updated version of the index, it's this one, MCP. I see almost the same. Well, with the difference that in this case we are actually no. Yeah, I don't know what's happening there. Um, so let's continue here. I'll close all of this. Right now, make me update the package scripts to make it easier to run. It updated packages. It added two things. I don't know what they are. Hmm. So we have a connect to server method querying processing logic should contain the query messages. Interactive chat interface, async chat loop, read line interface. We mentioned this before. Um, cleanup, main entry point. This is its main. It has the MCP client, random client, npm run build, and then path to server, path to server. If you're continuing the weather tutorial from the server quick start, you command might look something like this. The client will connect to the specified server. Oh, so when running, we need to connect to the existing server. So I get it. What this says. Perfect. Now let me create a simple test to verify everything works. First, let me check MongoDB it's running. But it is running. That's weird because I have Docker compose ps. Oh, because I'm on main, I have to move to Copilot MPC and now Docker compose ps. Oh, here isn't running, so I guess that makes sense. Yeah, why not? And finally, the demo file. Perfect. We've created a comprehensive allowance Mongo client for you. Here's the result summary, key files created. So I think we should remove these two and also add a git ignore here to finalize the git ignore file. Project summary, key fields, MCP client, full implementation using the official Mongo MCP server, the simple direct Olama plus Mongo integration recommended for testing, demo script showcase the functionality, project configuration, and configuration. Okay, here we have the git ignore, and we're ignoring this. Okay, the example shouldn't be ignored, but don't worry. Uh-huh. Demo package and architecture, natural language query, Alama. Uh, no, I mentioned three. MongoDB query translation, official Mongo MCP server, quick start. Mongo is already running. I started for you. Dependencies are installed. You're ready to use. npm run dep. Simple direct client. Recommend or full MCP client. npm run dep MCP feature locals. Okay, let's then inspect all the things that happen. This one, Mongo, we don't want it, so we delete it. Yes. What's happening here? I don't want you. The package here also does not need to. Here also package. Now, environment. Uh, yes, yes, we want that. This is the one. Allow my host. Allow my model. This is HEMA 3.1, and my your string should be this one. So let's keep that. Exactly that. Git example. Apply my configuration. Let's keep the demo fixer. I'm not sure. Uh, we will talk about that in a second. The demo. Oh, I don't know why you fixed this. So let's undo the demo. Let's delete that. Let's keep this. Let's rename just as demo without a fix. So we have MCP client from the index. So the MCP client has a lot of things in chalk, starting llama. If you don't know what chalk is, just uh, a way we can make pretty prints in JavaScript. It's a um, library for that. Hmm. We create a new client from our MCP client, and that client we initialize it. Then demo queries. We perform demo queries. Then we print that demo queries. For each outputs, storing interactive session, try asking questions like the ones or type exit to queen, await client start interactive session, catch errors. Okay, I think that looks fine. Let's just take a look to the index because I think uh, these are the corrections. Actually, this one shouldn't exist anymore. I think it was. I will keep everything here. Let's just correct what happened because yeah, we have MCP client and simple client. It made a mess. So this one we can delete. Simple client and client. We probably will be using MCP client directly. So we have the client, spawn, child process, llama, readline, everything we already mentioned, and that was in the index. So let's just format this as it should be. What? A lot of things. Okay, client. Property client has not initialized and it's not defined, assigned by the constructor. That's a TypeScript thing. So quick fix. quick fix. Those were TypeScript. The constructor, we process this for a Llama host. We create also the read line. Then when we initialize, we start the MCP server process. Or I don't think this is working, giving the whole. So else an empty string. Console start yellow. This server spawn mpx -y no mongo MCP server connection string. We're getting the connection string. Studio Python generate and amp process.amp. Yes. So if the server process goes its standard output and input, these two have an error. Uh, Studio client should receive a server and the parameters. So here, when they initialize the studio server connect management, here it is. New studio client transport generates the command, and command comes from, if it is py, process platform in folder 2, Python or Python 3, or process that exec path where that comes from. Oh no, I missed it. Okay, here it was again. It receives the command and the args. Object literal may it specify only known properties, and reader does not exist in studio parameters. Let's see. Studio parameters should be command command line arguments to pass to the executable. Here, I don't know why I'm passing this reader. And here. So actually, let's fix using Copilot. Okay, let's talk about this. On MCP client file, we got this, but no properties reader and writer are expected as studio server parameters. So let's try it and see. Let's see what's happening. Stood out and in? No, I don't think so. Okay, yeah, this is the connection to server. So yes, yes. That's what we want. Great to have these corrections here. Also, let me check if you have any questions. Okay, no questions this far. Let's keeping up with that. Um, okay, you do the corrections. We can make it. Perfect. Um, yeah, let's understand what happened here. Studio client transport constructor changed from using reader writer properties to using command and arguments properties, which is the correct API from MCP SDK. Removed manual process management, and now we set the instructions you want to pass. So very similar to what was happening here uh, for this. So we set the MCP server, the command is npx, and the arguments are -y mongo MCP server, passing the environment like this. So I'm guessing actually we probably when we keep this, we probably are going to still miss that because connection string it's being passed as another argument. And according to what's happening here, we also have env. So what I am proposing is I delete this and I add the env with the value of, oh, give me a second, MCP connection string. Oh my god, MCP connection string and the connection string. This we don't need. And this is the connection to the server once we initialize. Great. This was separated, but hey, that could work also. Then we create the client. For creating client, we don't need all of this. Then we connect with the transport connect once. Aha, perfect. So in the documentation, they do this differently. So we can change this, create client and transport and client, start MongoDB. Okay. We're going to add data console log, decline the transport and await the connection, then and available tools. Load available tools. We'll make something like if there's no client, const tools, await client list tools. These available tools will be a map of the name giving the interface MCP tool. Yes, of course, a list of MCP tool. Available tools. Generate system prompt. Call Olama. Olama chat model processing with passing the prompt. Generate system prompt. Okay, okay. Private execute MPC tool. Okay, another thing we need to correct. Okay, let's inspect all these fully. Um, we can close this for a second to just have more room in the in VS Code. So load available. Okay, we get that. Initialize. We get that. On constructor, we just set a llama. In generate system prompt, we create tool description. With the tools available, with the list of available tools, tool name, tool description, yarn. You are an AI assistant that can interact with Mongo database through MCP. Then we format this. This return. Okay. So available Mongo MCP tool description. When user asks questions that requires database interaction, you should analyze the user natural language query, determine which MCP tool to use, format the appropriate parameters for the tool to call, present your tools in a user-friendly way. For database queries, always respond with a JSON object containing the tool call, action, call tool name, arguments, parameter 2, available Mongo operation. Okay, well, I will trust your judgment at dropping. So we have another async cal Olama. Also, we can collapse this since we understand that. Olama response. We were going to call Olama chat. Now this is the one thing we were doing here. I'm sorry for the change between black and white. Uh, I also getting hurt my eyes, but hey, that's what we want. Generate chat. We have the requests. Chat has model messages. We set the messages, passing an array of message objects representing the chat history with the role content and no images. That's optional. So format Stream thing. Okay, everything's fine. Role system user generate system prompt. The first using for prompt. So be aware that we have called this the first time, and we generate the chat. At the end, we return the message content as a promise string. Perfect. So execute MCP tool. This is interesting because again we are waiting for the client. Await client call tool. Interesting. We haven't found that call tool. There is no other call tool, so I think this won't be too useful for us to call where this is being used in process query. Okay. Okay, execute MCP tool client. Oh, the client has the call. Okay, okay. Of course, well, that's why. The tool name, the arguments. That's perfect. Really simple. Look for JSON-like structure in the response. Parse to call. This is called when processing the query, and this just parse it and return the tool name and the arguments. That's great. Then process query, it's where things get interesting. So we get the AI response with the call llama, AI analysis, console AI response, check if AI wants to call a tool, if tool call, try await execute MCP tool, passing the tool name and the arguments. We set the database result, extract and display the actual content. If content and array its content, we pass that to result, else we stringify that. Then we get AI to interpret the results. We set an interpretation prompt. And interpretation await for the calling llama with the different prompt. If we call this user query and the prompt, the only thing I am wondering that's that always the system has the same. But let's test it as it is to see how it works. Finally, okay, this goes here. We can collapse the process query and finally set interactive session. While this is true, const query if exit break. If this continues, do things like processing the queries. And finally, just manage the cleanups, clean up, close, blah, blah, blah. Then example usage. All of these probably won't be working here. If import meta URL process on 9 await initialize start interactive session. This should be replaced for what's happening in demo. here in demo, we import Olama MPC client, not from index, but from MCP client dot JS. I know this is TS, but that's why we're building this before. So import chalk, same, run demo, and if you take a look, we start the client, then we initialize, then we do demo queries, then we start an interactive session, and that's it. Okay. Index can be deleted. Simple client, I think we can also delete it. Finally, we have a very similar demo, but without the interactive one, so this one also can be deleted. The setup, I again mentioned we don't need that. The README, of course, we can update it, but what I'm worrying about is the build, TSC, dep, MCP, TSX. Oh, finally for MCP, I'm going to leave this. Just to test that. Dev without the MCP, you can go, start this you can go, watch this you can go, and just update the indentation of this. Now npm run build. Let's see. Okay, plenty of starts happening. Open users will not get package, not touch file directly. MCP scope valid MCP package.json. No, because there is not. Olama.line read south. Why we are using south? I don't get it. This is a package. You're awful sometimes. So let's look for it. Sub package. So this is a validation library. Yeah, but we're not using. So goodbye. Div dependencies, TypeScript, CSS, authors license. So let's go back again. Let's do an npm install. Oh my god, that's why I was in a file where I didn't need it to be, which is Olama folder. Now do npm install. Okay, perfect. Now let's do that. why this is. Yeah, you can go. You are not. Okay. I probably should restart VS Code, but hey, npm run dev. Is that. Yep. Failed. Error. Spawn mpx eont call. Okay, why? But we're not using spawn anymore, right? Spawn. Spawn. Where this is initializing allow MCP failed to start client. Oh no, but hey, failed to start client starting. This is super weird, but I'm doing npm room build. Okay, we have our dist and we have our MCP client.js. So now in the back JSON, if we say um, node dist MCP client.js, it's the same spawn npx eon. Spawnx. Oh, I think I know what's happening. Uh, no, I don't know. This is args, not spawn args. Am I not getting something? Hmm. Hmm. Okay, let's talk with you again how these words. This for okay. Check code base again and look for possible errors. Let me know what you find without modifying. Analyze the code base. Okay. Okay. It's reading the files. Split that into chunks. We have the models. Okay, let's start closing something we don't use. Read me. Yeah, we can modify that later. The JSON. Also, I'm getting curious. Like, why do we have different things here? Uh, Database name. We don't need that. Mongo connection string. There is also no that. Llama model. Are we seriously using this? Okay, yeah, we are. On the Llama host, I hope we do. Okay, yes. Yeah, perfect. So that's all we need. Okay, let's start talking about then. After analyzing the current codebase, here are the potential issues and observations and found. Critical issue: model name mismatch, M file, but you mentioned you have. That's perfect. This will cause Llama trying to use a non-existing model. Yeah, we do have that. Um, Llama PS. Currently, problem is not doing nothing. But if I set this and exit, Llama PS now has this for running. So that's perfect. Missing simple client. The file appears to be removed, but still referring in the scripts. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't see simple. Yeah, there's no simple. The demo imports from MCP client but tries to use it as if it were the simple client. I don't think so either. Potential issues: client initialization error, capabilities. Well, okay, let's take a look to the capabilities. Environment handling. And this string will fall back demo script issues. String from TypeScript. Demo isn't trying to assumes compiled output, but no build step shown. Yes. Okay. Um, let's do one thing, which is cd l, and here we can say um, node demo or llama. Outside the source, I think that would be a better place. Demo, yes. Model not found. Yes, that's because demo it's trying to get from this MCP client. And what about now? Okay. Using. Okay. Okay. Let's say it's the error that I have. Hello everyone, how many points are required to earn basic swag? I have to admit I don't know the answer to that, but hey, you can always ask in the Discord server. I'm really sure someone can assist you with that. Hey, Quakers, can you tell me about this? Probably one of the current attendees can help our fellow here. And thank you. Um, Use the full path to MPX instead of just MPX. Use the full path, which you can find by running use Node directly, more reliable. Install Mongo MCP server locally. No, that won't. That's not what I want. Also, okay, we have set. Let's return to the comment here. Okay, let's try. Let's try. Let's try with Node. npm run build dev. Okay. Oh, we need to move to Olama. Same, same. Mm. But hey, I'm really curious why the comment here. But the comment should be this, yes. Yes, this is one. Yeah, it looks just as we wanted. The issue, the problem is that Isn't current syntax specified to MPX? No, no. Let me check if you can cancel. No, that's awful. Why that may be happening? What's the problem? Demo fail. Demo failed. Or here just failed. Failed to start client. Initialized. Okay, we are not sure that's the error. Okay, let's. Huh. You're not helping anymore about, so I'll be running this directly here. The good old Google. Cannot compile components or spine. Wait. Yes, it's an error that says nothing, so there's a huge list of things that doesn't even relate. Huh. I I want install work. Tell me why the error. NPX not in path. The NPX command is not found in your system path. But why it should be in my path? Well, no. I'm trying. I'm trying to understand why you're failing, and I think it is here. But this is at it should be. One thing, let me see. No, no, yeah, it's common. Cards. Yeah, no, that's perfect. language. As this. Okay. No npm run build node demo. Yes. MCP error, connection closed. Okay. I think option one kind of worked. Now I have another error. The MongoDB MCP server statement then close crash. Connection string issue. The server couldn't connect to the MongoDB. Environment variables not being passed correctly. The server process terminated unexpectedly. Check MongoDB connection. Well, yeah, I see this is running perfectly. Oh, I see. How's the name here? Let's keep that uniform. Okay. Um, is that everything? Node mp and run that. Okay. npm run build. Node demo yes. Connection closed. Okay, another thing we can try just directly, it's forget the why I'm going to be MCP server. And the string, it's this one. Okay. Okay, perfect. I think now it worked and it just in time. And now let me close this, do an mp run build, close this also, and make this bigger, and let's say node demo. And we are starting the server, available Mongo tools, each switch connection, list databases, create an index, collection schema, blah, blah, blah. This is the list, the same we got as the tools available here on the MCP server. Connect, find, aggregate, yeah, connect, aggregate, find, all of them, db stats, db logs, every db stats is here. And I think it's amazing. Demo queries, what collections are available in that set. Show me all users in the user collection. Starting interactive session. Try asking questions like the above. Let's try the Spider-Man, right? Um, what is the name of Spider-Man in G616 universe? Enemy of Spider-Man in 616 universe. It's Peter Parker. Can you remember the name of the number of Spider-Mans existing? Uh, how many Spider-Mans and variations exist? It's processing. Remember, this is just 1 billion parameter. We're competing against Anthropic uh, Cloud 4 model, and this is just a local HEMA 3 with 1 billion parameters model, right? Let's give it time. The previous one was really amazing. Here, officially supports Spider-Man as of many knowledge could have. Spider-Man originals, blah blah blah, variations. Just give me a number. Come on. resource estimates and caveats Spider-Man's. It's somewhat ambiguous. It's crucial to understand that these are not strictly defined versions. Um, what's your final response? Official supports for Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. You're talking about different the movies for sure. Okay, one that can only reply with this. Give me the marital status team. No, I don't know. Um, is the Chinese Spider-Man alive? Is the Chinese Spider-Man alive? Oh, come on. This is getting a little lag. How you spell Chinese? Chinese Spider-Man alive. Processing. As of today, no, the Chinese Spider-Man Hako Wu Yunsu, it's not alive. Where'd you get the Wunjutsu? Well, yes, it's dead, of course, but I don't know where you get the Wunjutsu. Uh, who were there? His creators. Who were? Sorry about that. But yeah, the answer it's. I understand you're asking about the creators of character Arthur Morgan. No, I don't think about others. Daniel Keynes. I'm talking about the database in there. There is the creators param. Tell me the value of that for the Chinese Spider-Man. Okay, it's doing analysis, but no output. So, so okay. Well, this is being by the process of the LLM, but we managed to complete the connection to the MCP server, and we have everything here, and we can create many things. And I was just using the list to be all collections in the GP. Yeah, we are wrongly parsing this. Remember the part where we were doing the for the MCP client. Oh yeah, because I commented this, but yeah, um, where we mentioned the process querying. Process querying goes to unify, execute MCP, parse to call. This is the one that's wrong. We're doing incorrect match here. That's why we're getting this response. But hey, I think we rock it. We managed to create our MCP client, and we did almost the same, of course, with our limited boundaries that Copilot is doing. So in the first part, we connected the existing GitHub client to the existing MongoDB server with MCP protocol. And in the rest of the session, we created, thanks to the help of Copilot, of course, and generative AI, with a little a deep debugging and understanding that the code generated was not perfect. We need to understand and be able to correct what's happening there. We managed to create a client to connect to that server too. The client we created, it's in JavaScript, and it is fully run by us locally, thanks for the Llama runner that can also give us the long language model. That will be the very hard part, right? So as you see, even for creating an MCP server, that's not AI. That's only general infrastructure of software development, just connecting with a specific and new protocol. But now we implemented AI, which is the long language model, running locally and being connected with this client to the MongoDB server. Thanks a lot for. I had no idea where there were so many spiders. Didn't you see Spider? What was the last movie from Sony? When they introduced all the Spider multiverse. But yeah, hey, it was amazing. Yeah, no, thank you. It was a pleasure, and it was really challenging, but also really um, enrichful. I don't know, like amazing to create this project with you. Thanks so much for joining, and stay tuned again for a carry session and closing ceremony for Global Hack Week. This was my last stream, and I will see you again. I hope that it is soon. So bye.